Well, ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your television set. It is your boy, the franchise player, WWE Bad Blood. It is not Wednesday night. It is not the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. It is now the NXT Review Wrap-Up Show with your boy, Throwback. Your boy down below, the man in the chair, Mr. Parrish himself, and the franchise, Double B. What is up, boys? What is up with this NXT 2.0?
What is it? You taking my line? What's good? How you doing? I know that this show was kind of in some spots. The Mandy promos wasn't that great for me. But that main event was everything I thought it would be. But we'll talk about more in depth. But I mean, there's so many things going on in this, and that 3 women's tag. Oh my God, it was just one of those train wrecks waiting to happen.
Do we honestly listen to Mandy Rose talk, or do we just watch Mandy Rose talk?
Hey, let's be honest. No one is watching for Mandy Rose's conversation, but I mean,
I just want her off the TV. So everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, we've seen the same thing she's doing as she did on the main roster. It's like, come on, do something different. I mean, I might be the 1% in all this, but still, I'd rather have somebody who can actually take that spotlight and use it to build themselves instead of be like, I'm the best because I look like this. It makes that talent look superficial. It's not a good look at anyways.
Well, I just think it's really funny that everyone wanted to get rid of the Diva division, and then here we are 10, 15 years later, and all these pretty girls are going back to the Diva division. And then it's like, okay, have you guys actually moved forward from this?
Well, here's the thing, too. If you want to get technical about it, when Triple H was running NXT 2.0 or NXT, I'm not going to say 2.0, but he was running NXT, the women were actually wrestling. They were having top caliber matches. They had gimmicks. They were like you and I. They were workers. Excuse me.
Why don't they bring back
matches.
Instead of caring about which legends are you bringing back for the Royal Rumble? Why not bring back one for NXT so they can actually work like Grayson Waller is with AJ Styles? Why don't you actually put somebody in the ring to help them elevate their game instead of just wasting our time listening to them talk because you don't want them to wrestle as much?
Well, NXT 2.0 is all about sex appeal. You got Bronson, you got Braun Breaker, good-looking guy, muscular, talented athlete. Then you got Grayson Waller, another good-looking guy. You're pushing the sex appeal there. Then you're pushing the culture, so to speak, with Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams. Then you're pushing the sex appeal with Toxic Attraction. But you're not pushing the fucking wrestling. That's where I draw the line. That's why I don't watch NXT. But for you tonight, Throwback, I watched it. 2 hours, 8 minutes of my life that I would not get back, which could have been called.
Hey! I said that if I needed someone to help be there, I knew you would be there
because you're my boy.
The Wicked Crazy Crew stepped up too, Parrish, and we also had Drew Nicholas wanting to come on, but Drew's an awesome guy, and. We still have a lot to talk about. We might as well talk about the Rumble a little bit towards the tail end because since Parrish is on, we might as well talk about that stuff too. But for here, with this NXT show that we have, we do a lot of things in depth too. So it's like this Mandy Rose promo was all making her like superficial. Oh, it's about me. Oh, and then it turns to Toxic Attraction. What I liked about it is the ending and Kylie Rae saying, and she is one of the best women's wrestlers, I think, ever in this current generation, besides the 4 horsewomen. I know I'm a huge British fan of the NXT brand, but her saying that, oh, you don't show up to defend the title and stuff, and then she destroys the photo shoot, which is funny, and she knocked the camera off, and they had the vision of the camera flipping out. But she's right. It's just you have a champion that just wants to show up when she does, then I know that's part of her character. But if you're going to have legitimate challengers, give me Mandy and Kylie Rae at a takeover, or better yet, make it a main event match, because then it's worth something. And right now, all after last week where Mandy won the title at New Year's Evil, it doesn't seem like there's any strong contenders for her, and Kaylee Ray's the only one. Why does everybody freeze on this show all the time?
Well, let's
To be fair, so I don't know what you guys use in the States for ordering food, but mine place keeps calling me because they don't have what I ordered, and it's really annoying that they chose now to call. And it's like they called 6 times. If I didn't answer the first 5, maybe stop calling me.
I mean, for us, we have Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash.
Yeah, we have DoorDash, but I use like what we call skip the dishes, and they're kind of tools. But the one thing I like is that at least Kaylee Ray is getting like some time, and she's a focus, because I don't know about you guys, but as soon as they took the title off of Raquel Gonzalez, I was so happy, because I thought she was very vanilla as a champion, and there wasn't a lot of substance with her outside of the one feud she had with Dakota Kai. So the fact that they brought in Kaylee Ray, and maybe we might see Ginny come across, I think we're finally going to get some women who actually not only can talk the talk, but walk the walk the way we wanted to, without having to go back to the whole, hey, look at me, I spent a lot of money on my chest, and I have a lot of makeup on. Like, we get it. Like, if you're not pretty in WWE, then you're probably the best pure wrestler in the company. That company's known for hiring models and turning them into wrestlers. So
look at the Royal Rumble. You got Summer Rae. You got, you got all these models coming back to wrestling. But
even Coca-Cola haven't wasted that much plastic in the Royal Rumble this year.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, look, let's start with the beginning of the show. Braun Breaker, your new NXT World Champion or NXT champion, comes out, and I didn't realize, because I watched the match where I watched the New Year's Evil show. I didn't realize that Rick Steiner was at ringside, or was in the front row.
He looks way different now, eh?
Oh, well, he's a freaking real estate agent now, dude. Come on.
But like, he does not look anything close to what we last saw him do. Yeah. And like, it's just that extreme. But it was nice to see Rick Steiner be allowed in WWE.
Well, I don't think the issue with the WWE was with Rick Steiner.
It was
I just think it was Scott.
Well, Rick didn't do himself justice either back in the day.
It's like, well, if someone has an issue with my brother, they got an issue with me, So I guess that's the way they looked at it, But
guilty by association. We know that one all too well.
Yeah, exactly.
Performers.
So he comes out and he just like he puts over the fact that he's the NXT champion, but he also puts over Rick Steiner, and he says that that Tommaso Ciampa went out there and thanked Rick Steiner and put him over, and like you think about stuff like that, like why if you're gonna put that out there, if you're gonna be like, hey, my dad Rick Steiner was at ringside and I won the match with the Steiner recliner, and stop calling him Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
it's actually his idea to use Braun Breaker, though.
Okay, look, how long you been wrestling?
Since 2004. But before you ask me the next question, this is his reasoning to why he said he wanted Braun Breaker. He said his entire life he's been known as Rick Steiner's child and Rick Steiner's kid. And when he actually decided to go into pro wrestling, he was always going to be Rick Steiner's kid. This was his one chance to actually do things on his own merit. And for that, I can actually commend him, because unlike someone who just entered the Women's Royal Rumble, I can respect people that didn't want to live off the history of a family.
Oh, no, I totally get that. I totally 1000% get it. I wouldn't want my children to have to come up in the business because of my name. You know what I mean? I get it. But we all know in the world of professional wrestling, fuck it, let's be honest. In the WWE, Vince McMahon will never let you come up with your own name. Never. even at the NXT level, would never let you come up with your own name. Do you think Ember Moon chose the name Ember Moon? No, she did not. Do you think that all of these guys that came in chose to change their name and were like, yeah, I like this name, I want to use that, and they've never had any professional wrestling experience? I call bullshit.
Well, Braun Breaker didn't do
I
much
think
before
that was
WWE either. He was just like anybody
he
else who
played
got hired, and
football.
they're like, okay, this is what we're going to call you.
But no, he played professional football too. But that's not the point.
I'm sure.
The point is, if you're going to take the guy's name and you're going to be like, oh no, by the way, you're going to be called this. What do you think? They're not going to give you a list of names and let you choose your name, especially if you've
Sure they
never
do.
done shit in the
Bray
industry.
Wyatt chose his name Bray Wyatt.
You know, I don't know about that. I don't know about
This
that.
sounds like a wrestling match brewing, like long-term booking here. I'm just
I
sitting
just
back
think
and
too, like
enjoying
you gotta be better than the name. Like you gotta make the name though. Like you can't just
Oh,
let
no,
a name
I
define
agree.
you. You gotta define the name, right? So
I totally 1000% agree. If you just like the title, if you got
Yeah.
you're a champion, big fucking deal. But if you can't make that championship mean something, then it's not the belt that makes you, it's you that makes the belt. Same thing with the name. But the point I'm getting across is he comes out, he puts over that his dad was there. He puts over that he's the new champion. He puts over Tommaso Ciampa as former champion and everything like that. And he says that Ciampa went out there and thanked his dad and stuff like that. Well, you've been, the WWE has been so pushing that name away, but yet you're going to bring it out right now. So then fans have been calling you Bronson Steiner the whole time. It's just like the WWE thinks that fans are stupid. That's the point I'm getting across.
Yeah.
They think that fans are stupid, and the people watching this podcast, you guys are all intelligent individuals that join us every week on biashim.net because you love what we got to do. You love the content. You love the fact that you can become a slamtastic slammer by going to slamchats.com, donating to the channel. You love that stuff. But the WWE thinks that you're stupid. And I fucking hate that. I just do. I just do.
They just want to be able to own the name, right? And that's just the business model they have. I mean, they can't really own somebody's real name. But even a guy like John Cena flat out says, like, John Cena is my real name, yes, but it is kind of WWE's property in a way too. So do you really want to give WWE your name, or do you want to at least give them like something else?
Well, that's why I think like
agree.
people do like nicknames like AJ's, uses his initials and stuff like that. So I mean, but AJ has his own intellectual property overall, not WWE.
Yeah.
So
See, I'd be more if they
it's case
changed
by
like
case.
Samoa Joe's name to like something stupid. But I mean, I just think it's weird that so many people are getting so upset about Braun Breaker's name. But then why aren't you calling Baby Uso or something else too?
Yeah, Solo Sikoa should not be,
But
Solo
like,
Sikoa.
We'll get to
But-
that in a bit too about
yeah.
Soa and
but the fact is, like, Braun Breaker
Sikoa.
since he started coming onto TV has been absolutely killing it though, and that's something that, like, he's been not only the face of the NXT 2.0, but I think he's the main reason why it's still a thing and not so. I don't hear a lot of people saying, I really wish they just wouldn't have obviously people don't want it changed from what it used to be, but at the same time, like, he's at least a glimmer of hope that this 2.0 is going to actually succeed because of how well he is.
So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quote our boy Ed Fry over on Love Wrestling with that Parish knows well, and I've talked to Ed a good amount, and they had the you know what I mean, the turnbuckle show that they do.
Turnbuckle talk.
Yeah, and Ed was on, and he said that, and it made a good point that NXT is going back to their old roots now. It makes sense that they're doing like the 3-tier thing where they did originally when NXT starts. But for me, and I'm literally going to be chastised on Twitter. I really don't care. I get that a lot. I'd rather be the heel than anything. But
wait, nobody's nice on Twitter? Get out of
no,
here!
Yeah, I know, but I'm a nice guy. A lot of people tell me, for me, I think it's too early to give Breaker the belt. I think there's a lot more challengers to get him up there, and then when he gets that absolute moment, let's say at a takeover at Mania or something like that. Just like make that moment really special and have him go for it, because a lot of people are thinking he's going to get moved up before the Mania in 2023. I think if you give him a little bit more longer and, you know, make him work harder for it, extend the feud with Ciampa, it would have made it a lot more special than just having it on, you know, a specialty episode where you could have it on a takeover.
I really hope that they ask AJ to stay down there and work with some of these kids, because Braun Breaker against AJ Styles would be phenomenal.
Well, they hinted at it when AJ came out about Carmelo and AJ, so I wouldn't be surprised if Carmelo ends up being in the Rumble and that sets up a North American title shot.
Carmelo Hayes is already the MVP of 2.0.
You know, I gotta agree, man. I mean, the dude has a skill.
Gotta love that Boston boy, man.
He's got that great mics. He's got great mic skills. He's great in the ring.
It's because Benoit killed Canadians and Edmontonians for WWE wrestling moving forward.
That is the stone cold truth right there, my friend. He's just over. But okay, so this whole Santos Escobar and Zion Quinn thing with what's her name? What is her name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Elektra Lopez
as the winner, as the prize. Okay, so we talk about we talk about respecting women in the industry, right? So Elektra Lopez is the prize. She's the prize for this match. Like, you know, when you go to the fucking carnival and you throw the rings and shit, and get the ring over the little fish tank thing, and you get the fish, and it's like, oh, we get a booby prize. Is that what this is all about?
Yeah,
this is some fucking John Laurinaitis booking, man. I'm so tired of that shit. But Santos Escobar, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal wrestler. Zion Quinn, he's really, really good, and he makes everything he does look really stiff.
A lot of the stuff he does, it's stiff, but a lot of the movement and the action, like you could see Escobar was helping him, but he was the whole match, but he was picking up a lot of stuff and learning along the way. So for me, I thought it was a decent match, but you know, the ending kind of made it suck. Literally, I mean, you kind of have to feel bad with that kind of ending of a match. But I would have just loved to see like a DQ and just let them go for another week. But I understand they have to end it and give Escobar something different.
Well, Legado del Fantasma has been screwed so much. I mean, that whole feud with fucking Hit Row and not getting called up, and I mean, well, they still have their job, so I guess they didn't get screwed too much, but not getting called up, and then like you take the Cruiserweight title and the North American title, and now like they're just a clique with nothing.
That's why I would love to see them moved up to the main roster. And I say this because I think Escobar could be your new Andrade. I think the guy talks well to the point where he can keep a job. The only person I don't think is ready is Elektra Lopez. But you got the other two that would be a welcome addition to the tag division that you desperately need more muscle on either Raw or SmackDown. But Escobar could be one of those amazing talents, and I just don't know if you really need those three in NXT 2.0 anymore.
Well, I mean, Legado del Fantasma, I mean, two of them could be in the Dusty Cup. We don't know that yet because the brackets haven't been fully announced. It starts next week.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, you can two of them are probably going to be in there.
It started tonight.
Well, I mean, like the first full round.
Well, I mean, honestly, the qualifying match happened tonight, so these guys got to qualify for the thing. But I'll get to that later because I got some shit about that.
But for me, it's just like I could see them in there. Obviously, MSK is going to be there. I think MSK is going to be the first time, two-time winner in that tournament. But you know, there could be a surprise entrance. It might be both of you guys in that Dusty. We don't know what WWE is going to pull out, especially with what's been happening recently on the main roster and stuff. Yes. So who knows what's going to happen about that?
Hope it's grizzled young veterans.
I would hope so.
Please.
So, I mean, for me, it's going to be a good tournament. I'm excited for it. I just still don't understand why I have the women's in February. You know, if you're going to do a tournament, have both of them side by side, because that way you have a match next to each other to basically accommodate both of them and end the tournament at the same time. Unless they're planning to have like a February Valentine's Day massacre again, which, you know, some of those specialty shows, they're hit and miss at times.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
And this is just not really a shot at. Well, yeah, it's a shot at NXT. I'm just gonna be honest.
He's gonna be like Carmelo and take his shot.
Yeah, I don't miss. Look, with the way this show was presented tonight, there were some great matches that could have been even better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at these matches on paper, like for instance, the Dusty Classics, you got Edris and Elfrey and Malik Blade, and they wrestled Joe Gacy and Harlan. I fucking hate Harlan. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, like Parrish knows, if you are a professional wrestler and you've had no fucking matches whatsoever, you're just a guy who looks like Brock Lesnar. You've had no professional wrestling training whatsoever. Would you give yourself a nickname, the Destroyer of Gods?
No.
Well,
I also wouldn't
Harlan's
repackage
Twitter,
him to be like a bootleg Batista when he was with Devon either.
if you go to his Twitter handle was the Destroyer of Gods. Like this fucking guy had his whole, like he had merchandise and all of this shit. I know someone personally who met him, and she is in a different type of industry, and she sends me these screenshots. She sends me these screenshots of this conversation she's having with this guy. And he's like, I'm going to be debuting on Raw in like 1 week. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. You're from Minnesota? He's like, yeah, I'm from Minnesota. Well, what do you know about Minnesota wrestling? I know Brock Lesnar. So what do you know about Minnesota wrestling? There was no other Minnesota wrestlers. There was just Brock Lesnar.
Hello.
Larry the Axe Inning. You know, you get fucking Vern Gagne. You got so many. Brad Reagan. You got so many fucking people. Like you. I was like, are you fucking serious? And she says, well, yeah. He says his nickname is this. And she sent me a screenshot, and I was like, the Destroyer of Gods. This guy can't even run the fucking ropes. Has he taken a 3/4 role yet? No. You fucking suck. So they put him in these matches. They put him together with Joe Gacy. Now, Joe Gacy, I just gotta be honest, man. Joe Gacy's gimmick is way the fuck over.
Mm-hmm.
If he did it the right way, way the fuck over. And I just glossed
over. He should be the
Cameron.
guy that takes the title off Braun Breaker in my eyes.
Bro, he is the new Bray Wyatt.
He kind of reminds me of like a hybrid like Bray Wyatt, but you add a little bit with the way his demeanor is and stuff, like Paul Bearer, kind of like, you know, how Paul's tone and delivery when he speaks. Like Bray does it a certain way, but he seems like in a hybrid of both. Like he watched Bray do it, and let's watch, you know, Bearer do it, and just combine both of them, and that's why he seems like he has that delivery and presence. I kind of like Harlan to almost like Kane, and then like the 90s Kane, where he was wearing the mask with no conversation at all. And, you know,
Harlan looks like Nails.
Yeah,
that's what he is. He's fucking Kevin Kelly. He's Nails. He's a broke down generic Nails. Johnny Ace was like, hey, I remember this guy named Kevin Kelly, and yeah, he used to wear a prison outfit. We can do that. Put some tattoos on this kid, and yeah, we can make him a star. And he's fucking horrible.
Except he looks like a deformed thumb.
Oh my god!
Someone called him a dirty piece of cauliflower. But look, and no offense to Throwback, but like you're a podcaster like we are, but Parrish and I are in-ring individuals, so we kind of have like a little bit of a.
You have more of the sense of it because you do it on a daily basis. It's like the equivalent of me saying I know how to change an oil on a car and
I
do
don't know
all that stuff, and you have no clue. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it.
Hey, in Edmonton, we run on oil, all right?
Well, yeah,
Come
true
on.
statement.
Yeah.
They haven't won a cup in a long time, but anyway.
Last one was against Boston, though.
Yeah. Oh man, I like this guy.
Thanks for the setup, bro.
Oh man. So
wait till all the trash talking that goes in the Wicked Crazy chat. That's gonna be fun.
I love it. So we I totally glossed over Cameron Grimes beating Damon Kemp. Well, who cares? That was a quick
I
easy
like
match.
I like the part of it where Grimes looks in the camera and says, "I'm only going for gold." Then Grimes shows up a few minutes later, leaning on the key on the Bentley that freaking Hayes has.
Oh my god, that
That's
was
just
so funny.
awesome.
You looking for your keys? So we get Joe Gacy and we get Harlan to cut a promo before their match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm excited that NXT didn't X the Dusty Rhodes Classic because I couldn't do it. I was so tired of them just taking everything and throwing it away. At least the Dusty Rhodes Classic is still there. So and Edris Enofe and Malik Blade defeat Joe Gacy and Harlan by disqualification. Let's talk about this disqualification.
Was it a talk that Harlan went out there and freaking went on a loony bin? You mentioned Gacy's like Bray Wyatt a little bit. He kind of reminds me of like Luke Harper kind of deal, like something like Harper will literally just go out and destroy people, and then just Bray's just sitting there in the rocking chair in the early NXT days, and just basically talking and stuff. But it was like all of a sudden he's just sitting there, and it's just like the Road Runner went like all haywire and went into the mental institution and destroyed people. It was just it doesn't make any sense. How are they going to get into the Dusty Cup now, considering the fact that they got DQ'd and lost?
Well, if you really want to be technical about it, I was thinking about this as you were talking. I don't think he's more of a Luke Harper or even a Bray Wyatt. Joe Gacy is a very happy Waylon Mercy.
Okay, that's literally what I was going to say. A modern
Waylon Mercy, man.
Who actually, ironically enough, is a giant inspiration to the early Bray Wyatt character.
Bray Wyatt, yep, the early Bray Wyatt character, including the ugly shirt and everything.
Yeah, but it's like if you guys ever watched the movie Cape Fear, that's where I always thought the Bray Wyatt character came from.
It did,
but
actually.
It really seemed like a positive version of that character that Robert De Niro played, but then it also has a weirdly creepy spin that you can kind of like, just because of the way modern people are now, like it's either like you just derive your own narrative and believe it, and that's exactly what he's doing now. So like in a weird way, he kind of reminds me of Twitter too, because they can argue a stupid point to make sense, and this guy does that and he believes it. And what I love about him is that it doesn't matter if you like the heel. What makes a great heel is that he believes at least 1% of the bullshit that he says. And because of that, he's a believable heel. What I love about him is that he believes in 100% of the bullshit, and it makes it so much more captivating because he doesn't give you everything, but he gives you a lot, and you don't realize that you've been given a lot because he's just that good at what he's doing. Like, he is one of the best promos in WWE right now, and it's just so good because he can captivate you so much more than he actually wrestles, and that means he has star written all over it.
Yeah, he totally does. And you know what's really funny that you mentioned that he does have the amazing ability to captivate a crowd, and he sucks you in and he makes you a believer.
I can even go one step further because you mentioned Parrish, like Cape Fear. What about Anthony Hopkins in Silence and the Lambs? Like that whole tone, like the smart witted, guy who can basically make you feel like
I don't know
two
if he's
inches
that
of yourself.
diabolical yet. That's the one. That's the one thing that they'll have to get to, is that he actually has a side that when you get too close, that like he gets you. Because the one thing I have not seen out of him yet is the fact that like he has that kind of like I don't want to say Viper reference, but it's like that instant killer quality that's like, nope. Like if you get past a certain level and you're too close, you're done.
Well,
I haven't seen that yet.
I met with Silence Lambs because, you know, the Anthony Hopkins character was a psychopath.
Yeah.
So like Gacy kind of feels like he's holding back that trigger. When he's in the ring, he lets it out, but when he's outside of it, he has that demeanor. So I think it's like a almost borderline psychopath where he's just like trying to hold it, and then when he goes in the ring, he just lets loose.
I think he has that that Bo Dallas type of gimmick. Where, you know, Bo Dallas was always like, "You can believe," and you know, he was so like evangelist, like an evangelist, like he was like Jerry Falwell. You know, he was like the guy. He was like Jim Jones. Come to me, drink my Kool-Aid. You know, like he's so captivating that you just like, wow, this guy. And then he says all these stupid buzzwords, and you're like, wow, he's really like interesting. And then you're getting so interested in him, and you're like, oh my god. And then he's like, boom, snap. You know what I mean?
If we're really putting movie references with him, he's basically Robert De Niro's Cape Fear character mixed with the main guy. I forget the actor's name now, but from American History X.
Edward Norton?
Norton. Yeah.
And like that cult.
That is a good reference right there. That is a fucking good reference.
Because he can get you to follow him, but he's very capable of controlling his emotion. It's just when it's constructively okay for him to let it go, he does that. But even at that point, he still has it controlled, and it is very scary because he knows when he can put the foot down, and he lets you know that, and then he pulls it back because he knows it's not time to do that. And then when it's time to do that, he has. And that's creepy. That was
a good take.
That is very good. That is like, if you ever watch Criminal Minds and they talked about some of the deranged, like the ones that you can trust, these are the guys.
Yep,
I mean,
agree.
he kind of also has that idea. If you look at it, like just in, you know, crime in general, he kind of reminds me of like, you know, Ted Bundy, kind of those things where it's just like they're very silent, very smart, and they know when to strike. So
that's why, like,
you know,
if Bray Wyatt ever does return to the WWE, I would love to see Joe Gacy against Bray Wyatt. I would love to see that dynamic really go. Because if Bray Wyatt can go to the Fiend, I would love to see what other end Joe Gacy could go to. Because if he's as creative as he is talented, that's a really dangerous thing for him moving forward. Because that means he's going to get called up soon. And if they don't have faith in him, then there's just a really different disconnect between WWE and the talent.
I think once the Dusty Cup's done and they move Grayson over, I think a good opponent would be Ciampa because of the physicality Ciampa can bring, and just see how Gacy reacts to Ciampa's style and stuff like that. That could be an idea, but we don't know. I mean, they're going to end up in the Dusty Cup, and it could be them versus MS. You know, every other tag team in this whole tournament, destroying them and stuff like that. So we'll see. Time will tell. But I really hope MSK wins. Really do.
Awkward silence.
Oh, sorry. I just got a very disturbing phone call. Hey, can we go to a quick commercial break? I gotta make sure this is taken care of. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane!
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, guys. I got a message that it was a COVID situation, and now I have to figure out if I need to go get tested yet again. Welcome to the world of COVID in 2022.
Welcome to the world we live in.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I remember finding out about COVID. It was on my birthday in 2020. It was fantastic.
Oh man!
Happy birthday! You got COVID, Bears.
No. It was
I'm
March
really
11th,
worried about it.
2020. That's when I found out that like it was a thing coming into where I
Oh
lived.
yeah, that's right.
I was like, yay.
And my boy right here, he just got over COVID, so I'm pretty sure he ain't trying to get that shit again. My dad tested positive for COVID last week. A very prominent professional wrestler that I work with is currently in ICU dealing with COVID and pneumonia. I'm not going to put his name out there because that's not my business to do, but shout out to him. Yeah, and now this situation just got dropped in my lap, so got to figure that out. So let's get back to this Dusty Classic. You know, we're talking about, you guys are talking about
to quote a line from the New Day, all about positive things. All
positivity. That's right. The crowbar on a pole match.
Oh my God.
Tony D'Angelo. Tony D. Robert De Niro of professional wrestling. That's so Tony Soprano of NXT versus Pete Dunne.
Before we get into it, because Tony D'Angelo, he with all this, if you really want to go to the basis, and if you're from Boston, he kind of has that essence of all the Italian mobsters, but he kind of reminds me of like Whitey Ford. Like, no, not Whitey Ford, Whitey Bulger.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, because Bulger would wear different types of hats and glasses and stuff. Wow, why am I getting Ford and Bulger different?
But you wear the ugly ass crushed velvet.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like he would basically, like, anybody crossed him, he would put them down and stuff like that. And it seems like D'Angelo is trying to go that route.
Forget about it. Tony D'Angelo. I love the guy's gimmick. The guy was a meme, got the gimmick over. I mean, shit. He made it work for him. He's one of those guys that took chicken shit and made it chicken salad. I mean, hey.
Well, I mean, he's the guy that just committed to the character. And what I like too is that his in-ring style backs up his character. And because of that, it makes the whole thing believable. And I know you can attest to this. If it's not believable in the ring, then you're not going to get many people believing in anything you do at all. So what I love about this guy is that when you're in a fight or you're in a match that the violence is a little bit up, the physicality is up, he belongs. And I like the fact that when he's up against a guy like Pete Dunne, who you kind of have to step up that physicality, he can really make it believable. And I like the fact that if you're going to put Pete Dunne match against anyone in this style, it is Tony D'Angelo, because those guys actually mesh very well together, even though Pete Dunne is more technical of a violent and Tony D'Angelo is more of a brawler. It's still fun because you actually know how to mix their two styles very well.
I love it. I mean, Kate Hensler and Alex Pulowski, they do a NXT review show, and the show is basically revolving around Alex doing voices, and him and Kate are just having the most fun time. Right? They're laughing, they're joking, and 99% of the people who do super chats, which, ladies and gentlemen, you can do that here. You can donate to buyaslam.net by going to www.slamchats.com. That is www.slamchats.com. It is scrolling on the bottom of the screen in case you want to know. Most of the people that donate to do the super chats, they only want to hear Tony D'Angelo. They want him to do William Regal, Tony D'Angelo. Like they love the character. The character is so over, and his wrestling ability isn't what they're loving. They're loving the fact that he's such a gimmick. Well, it takes a lot to have a crowbar on a pole match to make it look good. And Tony D'Angelo not only defeated Pete Dunne, but they used that crowbar in ways that only Edge and Bryan Danielson and the big dog Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, used in that triple threat match. I mean, in your mouth and your back and your butt, there it was putting it everywhere.
Sounds like a good Friday night.
Oh God, it sounds not a horrible.
And it's
Friday
only
night.
Tuesday.
Right.
Oh,
Hump
man,
days
what do you think,
tomorrow,
Throwback?
people. Weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, not in Japan, someday today. So, what do you think about that, Mr. Throwback, sir?
Crowbar. Oh God, there's so many freaking jokes with these things. My girl calls me the king of puns with all this stuff. I mean, it was. I'm gonna say this much, right? This match was gonna be physical regardless, because you got two really physical guys, and Pete Dunne is well known for his hardcore kind of style, his rough and tough one. I mean, he is the bruiserweight. But it was interesting because Tony D'Angelo, literally with this whole feud, was going tit for tat for him. And some of those things with the crowbar, like the finish in this was just like, they said, oh, he KO'd Dunne. If they really KO'd Dunne, he would literally have a mark on his head from the crowbar. They freaking swung it at his shoulder. It's just, this match was just like, remind me of so many gimmick matches. It's just, there's a litany of it. Like, remember, like Chris Jericho in a shark cage, and like, the kendo stick on a pole match. It's like, next thing you know, they're going to be like, you get a contract to date. Next one is you get a contract with Mandy Rose for a date. Like, these stupid, weird, crazy gimmick matches.
It's the time to do your Otis impression now.
Oh God!
Well, look, I'm waiting for the biggest match of all time. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman on a pole match.
You know how many people are saying that too? If they ever do that, they're going to put Heyman
It's
in
going
a shark
down.
match.
Can you at least do the
going down.
Paul Heyman in the cement truck match? Because
Oh my
it'd be
God.
really funny.
Paul Heyman with cement boots.
Just like, when they like, quote unquote killed Paul Bearer in this.
Oh my God.
And then
They
Taker's
should have
like, rest in peace. And it does this.
Since
I want to see Paul Heyman in that. That'd be hilarious.
since Tony D'Angelo is his family is in sanitation, they should have a sanitation truck match.
Oh
The one that
boy!
gets dumped in a trash truck.
Only if Metallica's Welcome Home Sanitarium is the theme song to that.
Oh my God.
Then I'll get behind it.
Do you guys watch any of the Marvel TV series?
Yeah, Hawkeye was awesome, by the way.
Okay, so the Hawkeye had the bros, the the
Yeah.
tracksuit mafia.
Yeah.
Look, Tony D'Angelo in his wrestling gear belongs in the tracksuit mafia.
Oh my God, I was thinking that too.
I was like, hey bro.
And then all of a sudden he stops, get his ass kicked by Kate Bishop, and he's like, yeah. That whole scene where, and sorry if you haven't watched it, you need to go see it. But I'm gonna spoil it. One of these scenes is where Kate Bishop's turning around and talking about how the captive is talking about his girlfriend and how taking her to a concert, he doesn't want to do it. And she's like, you need to do it. Sometimes you have to do stuff you don't want to. And later on in the series, they're fighting and she's like, thank you for helping me. And she
yeah,
literally whooped his
it
ass.
was God, what's that?
You know-
Nick Jonas. It was one of the Jonas Brothers groups. God, the Cake by the Ocean group. I can't think what they were called.
Dance.
Whatever they were called. But anyway, yeah, it's like
I'm gonna go to the
bro,
limb
she
and say
loved
that
it.
I'm not gonna know any music that you probably.
Probably. But yeah, he's a tracksuit mafia guy. So every now and then, I'm just gonna throw out tracksuit mafia references. The velour outfit was way too much for me.
If that's a thing, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah, that was a gimmick. Now look, in the surprise good match of the night, because I was truly surprised that this was gonna be such a good match. The 6-woman tag team match, dude. I'm all about Wendy Chu.
Yeah.
Anytime you can do a Northern Light suplex in your fucking pajamas and bunny slippers, you have made me a fan.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, Wendy Chu. You know how many now people are gonna do Blue Chew references? Be like when she does a suplex, if you need to have a big suplex,
You should get a Wendy Chu.
So the Love Wrestling chat was insane about this because it was either you loved her or you hated her. And it was hilarious to me because, well, I like to just stir the pot as much as I possibly can. So
dude,
if
you
people
always
are
stir
over
the pot, my friend. Let's be
if
real.
people
You
are
like your
over
meat.
the top mad, I like to just take that knife and twist it a little bit. And then I like if anybody's over the top like happy about it, I like to hand them the knife to twist
really
it.
like you. You know what? You need to come on the Roundtable Person podcast on a Monday night, man. We just totally bash on Raw. You need to come on there because we have a blast on that show.
Hey,
And
why not have him on here every week? Me and him could just bash NXT all day.
Yes, I think you guys,
I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying, like, I think it's hilarious that I don't know, like I'm not a big believer of like if you don't like I'm a believer like if you don't like it then you speak out, but if you like it then speak out too, because I don't think enough people speak out about the things they like. I think more people speak out about the things they don't like, but 90% of the people that like talk crap about it, I'd love to see them try it before. Right.
Well, I'll be very blunt about it. Wrestling, there's no chance in hell, especially after being epileptic. I'm just lucky to be doing this right now. That's the closest
Hey, if
thing
the
I'll
Bellas can do it, anybody can.
And bro,
do you
look
really
at
want?
it this way.
I want to be
Omega
honest.
has been wrestling.
I'd rather watch you
for a year with. He's been wrestling a year with.
I just
Vertigo,
don't need to get hurt.
Yeah,
but I get hurt
let's
watching
be
the
honest.
Bellas.
I mean, let's be honest. Do you really want to have somebody who has grand mal catatonic colonic seizures do a bump and all of a sudden, boom? Yeah.
That right there will probably be an insurance hazard. I'm just saying.
Yes. So this is the closest thing I can get. So I mean, I'll take it and run with what I got. But
well,
yeah, no.
You're welcome here, brother. You're welcome here.
No.
I mean, for me though, Chu, like the way they set her up last week, you were like, "Who the hell is she?" It almost reminded me of like, like a Sandman character, like the little kid Sand. What is it? They used to be like the snails or something like that, the glowworms. How they all dressed up and she reminded me like with all the colors and stuff like a glowworm from a toy back in the 80s. Look it up, guys, people. If you don't know what it is, really look it up.
I'm looking it up. I cannot find it on Google, guys. Maybe someone else would be a lot faster at finding it, but I cannot find it.
Is also like a really sour candy too?
Yeah, that's what I found.
Yeah. It's like what gummy worms are, but like they're sour and they're brighter.
Yep, that's what it
found it. I found it. I found it on eBay.
He found it on eBay.
I'll send it to you. You're just gonna start laughing. But for real, like it reminded me like an old school like glowworm toy where they got the cap and all the gown and stuff like that, and just like when she starts ready to go and starts fighting, all of a sudden she starts glowing like she's all ready to go. I'm an 80s baby, man. This is gonna work. But I love this match. I loved how like she's just sitting there sleeping with the freaking cord on there, and then they tagged her, and all of a sudden, boom, she goes freaking
She
all
runs wild,
crazy.
It was so funny because like I'm watching the video, like I'm looking at my phone and I'm playing a game with my daughter, and I look down and I said, she's wearing bunny slippers. She's wearing Northern Light suplex and bunny slippers. My daughter's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, look, she's in her fucking pajamas.
To be fair, there's been conversations between me and a few other people that if we can create a group and wear onesies, we would totally do it because it would be hilarious.
I'm in. I'm in. Oh my God. I know what you're talking about now. I remember these ugly glowworms. Yes, I remember my sister used to have one, and me and my brother used to set them on fire.
Oh God! But I mean, just like the style with that cap and the way it is, like all that stuff. The other thing that she reminded me of is, and we just passed Christmas, is A Christmas Story, the bunny outfit my girlfriend's daughter has, and she loves that thing, to be honest. But it kind of reminded me, like, she just went off, like. With those glowworms, you hold them and they glow. I mean, like literally, she looked like she woke up and was like, "Time to play," and just went all crazy. It was just fun to watch.
She was like,
"I was just like,
Blue Chew." She took it. She was like, "Let's go."
Gotta lay the piping.
Oh man, she was like, I'm about to lay some pipe.
Look behind me. There's enough right there. It's not. There's the first pipe.
It's after 8:00, so we can have NXT review after dark right now.
Yeah.
Live on BuddySlam.net.
Regardless if the performers can actually stay up after dark.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Sometimes you gotta come. They're not coming like Veer Mahan. That's for damn sure.
Hey, I'm all good. I tomorrow off. I'm literally just wide awake right now. Let's go.
No, I don't sleep anyway. I'm 3 beers deep, by the way.
My boy took a whole bunch of Blue Chew. He was like, "These candies are delicious." Why am I gonna pass out from the blood loss to the brain? Oh, wait a second.
Well, I mean, of all the blue chewable things they could eat, just saying.
But
could be worse.
But let's get some like credence to like Cadence and Catanzaro. Like literally, they did their part and stuff like that, flying around like crazy. So I mean, I'm excited to see what they do in both these tag teams do in the Dusty Cup. But I won't be surprised if they put Chu in the Dusty Cup just to see what she can do, and everybody make that. I will guarantee this. She will be a meme within 2 weeks. Be like,
she's probably a meme on Twitter. I've been on Twitter since that. She's probably already a meme on Twitter.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Like all of a sudden, if you need to wake up and have your alarm press, and then all of a sudden it's somebody pressing her like a.
It's gonna say send Chu. I was gonna say send Chu. That's all they need to do now. Hook is passe. Now they're sending Chu.
Do you guys remember the match where the fans started yelling like Roman's sleeping?
Yeah.
Because he just like sold for an insane amount of time outside. I would love it in any tag matches happen. She just falls asleep when she's on the outside waiting for a tag.
Can you imagine?
She did actually.
If that's her thing, and then anytime like they want to tag her in, they got to hit like the alarm, like one of those old school alarm things to wake her up. That'd be
it's that ringside.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Just because I'm gonna throw more 80s references. Why not? We've already talked about glowworms today.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if she's bedtime bear. Like she comes out in pajamas and literally wake her up and she turns into Grumpy Bear.
Oh my God. She's gonna get so pissed off. Look. She's popped a whole handful of blue chews. So right now, she's real stiff. And speaking of real stiff, let's talk about this Boa and Solo Sikoa match. Oh my god! Look, I'm tripping on the simple fact that we just talked about Winnie Chu, who was part of that group with Boa, and now Boa is beating the dog shit out of someone and there's no face paint, and he bends his head down and pulls it back up, and he's got the fucking face paint on his face.
Mm-hmm.
So either we're all crazy and we're all part of this delusion, or we're just all fucking crazy. That's
Or
what
there was a 5-second delay in between the taping and the backstage. Yeah,
exactly. But Solo Sikoa, let's just call him Fatu.
Baby Goose.
Let's just call him Fatu.
You hear the crowd though. You hear the crowd though when they were introducing him in the background with the promo. They were saying, calling Uso the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you realize, he also was he cut a promo and he was like, he can do it on his own. He don't need no Usos.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get away from the Uso name. I mean, yeah, he's trying to get from the Uso name, and the fans aren't letting it happen, just like the Braun Breaker thing.
But if you want a big money payday, you embrace the Uso thing.
You better go fucking join that that table.
That,
you better go sit.
Yeah, the bloodline.
Somebody asked me like why he's not an Uso, and I'm like, that's because he's probably the one brother who doesn't have a DUI, so he probably has a line to succeed. So.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, those are Parrish's comments, and his alone that do not reflect those of bodyslam.net.
As soon as he does that.
To be fair, though,
oh man,
he probably doesn't have a DUI. Both Usos do, so it's factual information.
So you see that bus right now? All up under that bus. Usos are all up under that bus.
But the nice thing, though, about this guy, though, besides the jokes, is that he can work, and he's very good. And the only thing I'm going to criticize is why does he look like a poor man's boxer?
Well, the whole
I'm not a fan of the shorts.
He's the champion of the streets of Samoa.
So he's the Kimbo Slice of Samoa?
Well, he's from San Francisco, so I mean, he's from Sacramento. I mean, shout out to my boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if him and Grayson do get into a tag team, because they were pretty much wearing boxing shorts all.
We're not going to talk about Grayson Waller, or as I like to say, Waller. We're not going to talk about him being a poor man's AJ Styles when he came to the ring with his little fucking hood and flipped his hood back like that. I was like, okay. He comes to the ring with his basketball shorts and his fucking Jordan 1s. I'm a Jordan guy, and those are the ugliest Jordans I've ever seen. Comes to the ring with his little Jordan 1s.
I will get negative when we talk Grayson Waller. I will say.
He's I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, so Boa and Solo Sikoa, they go to a double count out. Now, did they even get in the ring?
A little bit, and then they just started slugging it out.
Yeah.
Because they fought all over the fucking performance center.
I think a last man standing match is totally acceptable in this case.
I think a false count anywhere is totally acceptable.
No, you know what I want to bring? Bring an old staple back. Put these two in the fight pit. Jeez, that would be awesome to watch.
Well, that would be awesome to watch.
They'll probably do a cage.
No, that see, and that's the thing. Like, cage matches in NXT are far and few, which is awesome because they're a novelty match, ladies and gentlemen. Like, a cage match is a match that settles the score. Like, no more fighting after this cage match.
Well,
me and Paris, we have fucking matches all over the country, beating the shit out of each other for 6 months straight. How is it going to end? Put them in a cage.
I would love to do a cage match.
We do a War Games cage match here in Portland all the time, and after those cage matches, I'm pretty beat up for about a week or two. Yeah, but they're fun as fuck. They're fun.
But I mean, for me, it's just like, War Games. But if the fight pit's the same thing, when it's only been done twice, it's not like a cage match where you could see it like here and there, But fight pit is pretty much for me. throw out the elimination chamber, but Fight Pit's like that end all of be all matches. Like Thatcher was in that, and I could see these two go at it in that cage and go all up on top of the cage and destroy each other. And that Fight Pit is NXT's version of the elimination chamber.
Wow, that would be awesome.
I would love to also now see an elimination chamber in NXT.
Ooh, can you imagine?
Oh, imagine fitting that thing in that place.
It's the whole chamber is like the building. That's it. Fans are sitting outside on folding chairs, like at an indie show, outdoors, just chilling.
That's the sexual innuendo I get when I saw Braun Strowman with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Or better yet, it's like Vince looking back at all the old tapes and stuff. Oh, we haven't done an empty arena match. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, these two are in the empty arena, have already taped up and stuff like that. And they come back out live and they're beating the crap out of each other and it ends up in the ring.
Yeah. So then we go to the main event. AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller. And I got to say, Grayson Waller looked pretty fucking good in this match.
Yeah, he looks strong in it.
Kick and bump. I will say
he
that.
He can bump. AJ Styles, look. Because he was carrying the fucking load that match.
Well, Grayson Waller to me is very awkward in every sort of movement he makes.
Yes.
He does not look like a traditional professional wrestler. He looks like a guy that's like, this is your first match, kid, and you're working the name. Don't F it up.
And he did good. I mean, he did really good. My thing was the ending was the cherry on the cake for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, AJ was like, "You're good, but you're not phenomenal." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, I got a friend that wants to see you." And oh my God, I almost pissed on myself because I was like, "Please, God, please don't be Johnny Gargano." Like, please don't be Johnny. When LA Knight came in, I was like, okay, good. Like, okay, good.
Why did you want Johnny Gargano?
Why?
Yeah.
Man. Think about it this way. You're at your daily job, and you have done every fucking thing possible at your daily job to the point where you're getting bored at work. Stagnant. But Jesus Christ, this is so boring.
Complacent.
Your work starts to get lazy, lackadaisical. You stop giving a fuck, right? You're just like, I'm gonna go to work at it. I'm gonna be at work at 7 a.m. I get up at 4. I'm not gonna do shit all fucking day. That's my job. You get bored. Then someone says, hey man, check this out. There's this new job over here. All your friends are over here.
I do not want to see Johnny Gargano in AEW.
That dude.
AEW is the most convoluted wrestling promotion now.
Okay,
and
I agree.
WWE is right there too.
I agree that AEW has a lot of people, but there's a lot of matches. I don't give a shit. I mean, he didn't have to sign with them. Think of all the matches he can have. Johnny Gargano, Sammy Guevara, TNT title match. Johnny Gargano, Kenny Omega. Johnny Gargano, and anybody there. Think about that. Johnny Gargano on Hook.
Okay. So I have a running joke now in the locker room when, and like, when you go up to a guy and like, you're just bored. So you throw him like a worker shot, kind of like just fucking around.
Yeah.
So I do that. And I no longer sell it. And I'm just like, no sell, send Hook.
Don't take a power driver, pop back up.
Yeah. I want people to really tuck in their boner about Hook because he's had, 2 matches?
Yeah.
And one match, he had the most unnecessary no-sell that you could do. He looked really good in his matches, but people are getting way too over the top about what he can be. Let's just enjoy the ride.
I agree with you.
And that's why I said on a post show with you is that I like what I saw. There's a lot of potential, but I don't want to jump and rush to it.
Wait till Hook really fucks up because there's going to be a time where he does.
It's the same way with Breaker. I want to, as much as they're pushing Breaker and stuff like that, I want to see what happens down the line. I don't want to be like, okay, well, he's the champion, and the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, they pull the plug on him and be like, oh, well, he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And then
Here's
it's
my
just
thing about Hook, and I'm gonna shoot straight with you guys about Hook. Like I'm just gonna be fucking straight up. Hook has a great presence.
His DNA that knows his business.
His DNA, his fucking pedigree is all that.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability. He has the it factor. He has everything that you could want from a wrestler. Like he is a good prototype for what a wrestler could be. Moveset, awesome. But here's the thing. All this fucking, oh my God, he's so amazing. He's the new god of wrestling. Twitter has blown up because of Hook. As a matter of fact, I was looking at something earlier today. Hook is the main reason his segment is the highest rated segment on Rampage. Okay, great. Hook, send Hook. Hook can do this. Hook can do that. Everybody wants to be a fucking hooker. I get it.
everybody wants to play hooky.
Wow. Okay, so I wasn't going there, but okay. Everyone loves Hook.
I'm still waiting for Tinkerbell.
So wow.
Where's Peter Pan when you need
that
him?
might be coming pretty soon. But
that could be Santa Guevara.
Even my daughter says that Peter Pan is the biggest heel in all of the whole thing, because Peter Pan was keeping kids. Like, yo, don't grow up. Stay a kid with me. You fucking kidnapper. Like, you know,
He was Michael Jackson in a fairy
right?
tale.
Yeah, like, it's like me and my daughter have this running joke about Santa, right?
Uh-oh.
So here's my thing about Santa.
Oh, here we go.
You know when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Is he fucking peeking in your window? He knows when you've been bad or good because he's fucking spying on you. What a creeper, right? For the whole year, we talking about 11 months. You don't fucking see Santa nowhere. But then in December, he shows up at the mall and tells little kids, "Hey, come sit on my lap and let me give you some candy." What the fuck is that? Right? Think about that. That's some To Catch a Predator shit right there.
You're talking about Christmas. We're getting off track, but why don't I say this? I have to, because you mentioned this. Frosty the Snowman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's freaking fat and jolly, freaking roundabout, and he's white. It's like, what is it? Like he's throwing snowballs, prancing around all happy. What is he on that freaking white stuff all the time, man?
Okay, am I gonna be the one that says he has his own shop and like child labor laws with all the
child
elves?
labor laws? Yes, they're not elves; they're little kids. And he just fucking like, "Hey, come work for me for 10
And
pennies."
let's just call it as it is. Those are slaves, man.
Man, see, a man after my own heart. He knows the business. Santa Claus is fucking doing the most over there.
But if a wise man told me, it's all about the game and how you play.
Yeah, all about control and how you take it.
I'm loving the New England references, considering Hunter's from New Hampshire.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
I'll have to admit that.
So quite honestly, man, this show is pretty good. Top to bottom, it could have been better. I see a lot of potential in everything that's going on in the show if they lean into it and just allow the fucking wrestling to be wrestling, man. That's the problem. It's like the whole thing with Hook. If everyone leaned into the fact that, yeah, the guy can wrestle, but don't praise him too much. Don't put him over already, like make him a god. Let him earn his keep. My thing is, you want to make him so good.
Kurt Angle, and he was way better.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make this guy like a superstar. I posted on Twitter 4 matches, and Hook's a superstar. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, those are 2 guys he has to face. Okay, Kurt Angle. If you put him in with Kurt Angle, and that's the 4th guy, Bryan Danielson. Mm-hmm. Even fuck it, let's throw CM Punk in there. 5 guys. That's 5 guys. And
let's see him go toe to toe in a promo with MJF. Then we'll see if he's a true money guy.
Then if he does all of these things, he's successful. Even if he loses these matches with these guys, if he goes in there and has a stellar performance with these guys, strap the rocket to that kid and fucking blast his ass off to Mars. Then
I'm in a ring with Pac, just so the fact that AEW remembers you actually have Pac on your roster.
Put him with Phoenix before the elbow. Like shit. You know, like do that. Once you do something like that, and this guy can run with those guys with no training wheels. I mean, don't get it wrong. Fuego del Sol. Fuego's a good hand. He's an actually decent worker. He's a really decent worker. But to put Hook over as such a god because of a match he had with him, and then a match he had with Aaron Solo, you praise him for all these matches, but then you praise him for popping out of a fucking pile driver from a 400-pound man. But you know, that's just me.
No sell send Hook.
Hashtag no sell send Hook.
But like I do want to kind of go back to something we were talking about Johnny Gargano and how you were happy that it wasn't Johnny Gargano and you want him to go to AEW with all the matches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw 5 matches with you with inside WWE that I think would be very good. Johnny Gargano versus Santos Escobar. I'm going to stay at NXT with that one.
Didn't he already have that match?
Yeah, but like let it linger, like let a feud go with that. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa versus the Usos. Or the New Day.
I think they had those matches on Raw when they went up and defeated the tag team champions on Raw as the NXT tag team champions.
Johnny Gargano versus Sami Zayn.
PWG.
Yeah, but Sami Zayn is way better right now than he was in PWG. Can't even at me at that, man.
I think El Generico was the shit.
Yeah, but El Generico,
show up as
he
the Rumble.
was the shit. But Sami Zayn is the goddamn bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Here's an idea.
High five with that one.
Here's an idea for one.
Johnny
Nakamura versus Gargano.
Johnny Gargano versus Randy Orton.
I can see that.
Johnny Gargano versus Edge. Johnny Gargano versus Seth freaking Rollins.
Or AJ.
Roman Reigns.
That's a dream match. Johnny and AJ. Johnny and Kenny Omega. Those are the matches that he said he wanted.
Johnny Gargano versus Tyler Bate.
I think we've seen that.
Johnny Gargano versus Jordan Devlin.
Okay, so these matches that you laid out, some of these matches he's already had, but some of the matches that you laid out, I would love to see some of those. Like, honestly, that's the thing. He will never get those matches in NXT. He's done everything in NXT he can do.
He can move up, and that's something that I'd like to see. And I do think he would actually do well when he moved up. If he moves up.
The only problem with him moving up is that when they move him up, they're going to do him like they did everybody else. And they're going to fucking shit on his character. He's going to probably come up and be named fucking Beaver Cleavage Jr. or some stupid shit.
Leave it to Beaver.
He'll be, because he'll be, leave it to Cleveland. He'll be like, oh, I'm the Cleveland Steamer. That's my name. Because Vince is
that's Miz
stupid.
already. Come on.
I mean, but because Vince is stupid, he'll come up with a stupid gimmick like that. Oh yeah, Johnny Wrestling. He's only 175 pounds. He can be a manager to Braun Breaker.
Do you want to see Johnny Gargano become a superstar, or do you want to see Johnny Gargano go to AEW and just do a billion moves for no fucking reason?
I want Johnny Gargano to go where he's going to be happy.
I don't think Johnny Gargano's unhappy in WWE, though. Kyle O'Reilly wasn't unhappy in WWE.
I think they just wanted a change. It's just, like you said, they've been there for so long. I don't think Gargano's going to do anything anytime soon until, like, a good example. Well, I'll use the time right between around summer, end of spring, because they're going to have a newborn within about, less than a month? So, I mean, he's probably waiting and biding his time before he does anything because he probably wants to make sure Candace is okay. I think him being, a husband and a father with the way things are outsuits anything, and they should be okay considering Candace is still under contract too.
I just rather see Johnny Gargano, if he's going to leave WWE, go to Impact. Be your own guy. Because if he goes to AEW, he's going to be latched on with the Young Bucks. He's going to be latched on with all of his friends. And I don't think that's good for him. Well,
look at it this way. There are 3 matches I can guarantee you. If Gargano had him in any fucking company, it would be money. Mm-hmm. Gargano and John Gresham. Ring of Honor World Championship. Okay, well, that's one. Gargano, Carl Fredericks, New Japan Strong. Gargano, TJ Perkins. Those 3 matches will fucking main event any company right now as a pure technical match.
I like Johnny Gargano, Tyler Bate over TJ Perkins, to be honest.
Oh wow.
I think Tyler Bate is one of the best. Actually, here's another one. Johnny Gargano against Rey Mysterio would be a dream match that if you don't like smaller guys wrestling,
that would be awesome.
That would be one of the best matches possible.
Yeah, Oscars can go.
Because Rey Mysterio is a goat, and people could at me on that one.
Yeah, no one better at me on that because I trained with him, so I will shoot you down with the quickness.
One of the greatest things I've ever seen live in an arena was Rey Mysterio winning the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 22.
I'll
one
tell
of the
you.
most honest, inspirational things I've ever seen in my life.
July 16th, 1997. Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Monday Nitro, WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Best match.
WCW never came to Western Canada, so I can't even come back to that, if anything. The closest it was Seattle, man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and I'm all on the East Coast, man. So
yeah, he's in Boston. He's in Boston. Hey man, I will tell you one thing about my latest trip to Boston. Well, Rhode Island. I got to wrestle with Brutal Bob Evans and Tough Tim Hughes, and I flew into Boston.
You flew into Logan. Oh God.
Yes, and so look, I hate the Patriots.
Oh, good. Then you didn't watch last week's episode because literally I'm watching it wearing a Patriots jersey all the time.
Yeah, I watched it. I put you over.
Who's your football team?
Well, mine Green Bay Packers.
Okay,
I don't stock in the Packers, so I gotta love them.
I'm a Saints guy, so cool.
So we go to we're driving past Gillette Stadium, and I'm like, oh my God, it's open. So I jump out of the car and I run.
I heard this story. You said this one to me.
Yeah, and I found the video. I was gonna send it to you the other day, and I squat down the field and I pull my pants on like I'm gonna take a shit. And as I'm pulling my phone up, I hear, "What are you doing?" And I turn and there's a cop. I'm like, oh my God. He's a sergeant too, so I'm really in the shit. But yeah, he was cool. I shot a video with him, posted it. My brother hates me for it. He's a huge Patriot fan, but yeah, I digress. The best part of that trip, other than wrestling, was the fact that I walked into Cheers. I went to the Cheers restaurant and I was mad because they didn't know my fucking name. So I went to the front
Sons of bitches.
Do you not know who I am? I said, here's $5. I come back in, say my name. And they fucking did it. It was so cool. Yeah, that was probably one of the best. What's the school there? What's the big college that's in Boston?
You got BU, BC, Harvard, Northeastern.
Okay. Harvard is this big Ivy League school.
Did you meet Chris Nowitzki?
Harvard is a shithole. Like the streets are fucked up. Like the school looks like it's fallen apart.
It's actually several campuses too. So
I was like, who is paying all this money to go to this school? But other than that, Boston's a beautiful place to be.
One of the places you have to go to is if it's still on. I used to walk the streets in college and stuff like that, and there used to be a pub called McGreevy's Tavern, and the person who owned it, because the Red Sox had this group in the early 1900s called the Royal Rooters, so they were their original fan club, and the great-granddaughter of McGreevy, who was the head of them, opened a bar on Boylston Street, which was now a few blocks away from the starting line of the Boston Marathon. So, that has special meaning now. But I mean, Rhode Island literally is like an hour and a half away from where I am. So
it was a beautiful drive.
It's nice going up that way, but you're better off doing it in the fall. You go further up towards New Hampshire.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love the trip out there. Boston's a beautiful place. Like I said, I spilled some tea there. It was awesome. It was good.
And you took almost a poop on a freaking sacred place for a lot of people.
Dude, it was. I'm the biggest heel in the fucking body slam.net right now, bro.
I'm the biggest baby face on this whole thing. I'll take it. Whatever, anything I can do, I can take it. So
I like you guys.
Does that
You
make
guys
me
are
like the
okay.
Bret Hart that saying I'm Canadian then? So I can
Yeah.
just
I'm Canadian too, so
do
what does
whatever I
that
want.
So why don't we get on this, because we've already covered the NXT stuff. And
Where
we're just
are
hanging
you from then? Like where
I
are
was
you?
born in Calgary.
Oh yeah, we hate Calgary. Like I'm an Edmonton guy.
Goddamn Edmonton.
Don't hate us.
It's okay. Hey,
So-
I tell people all the time, don't blame Canada, blame yourself.
So we were talking on a post show, and
Canadians
we'll
are
get
fine.
into this. We'll get in this since I have Parrish on there, because Parrish a lot of times is scarce to do stuff. So I wouldn't mind doing this as a weekly thing if you're down, Parrish, for this.
I will try. My shoe job sucks, but I will try.
But we have a huge thing coming up, in which is the Rumble.
That's what she said.
Are we
Thanks.
talking about Wendy Chu?
And
Sponsored by Blizzard.
and this man next to me called out a bunch of people, and I tagged a bunch of people, and nobody responded on that.
Hey,
I don't
hey, I'm
know
calling everybody.
why. So
Just
Wait for
Parrish,
the alarm clock like Wendy Chu.
so Parrish is a part of this. So I'm gonna sweeten the pot a little bit. Wicked Crazy title. WrestleMania. Crown it. I'm gonna say this right now. I will literally make the winner of the Royal Rumble prediction show, whether it's Parrish. Hell, Parrish, get everybody on Love Wrestling on board. And get everybody. We could bring everybody in the community on this. Whoever wins the prediction show, whether it's for their respective podcasts, like Love Wrestling, Fightful, I have to stay neutral on this because of the fact that I'm the proprietor of the belt and stuff. They, instead of the number one contendership at Mania, I'll throw them in the championship match straight out.
Okay, so here's the deal. We just did Predictions Warfare on our show for the last pay-per-view, and I won.
Okay.
I'm the reigning, defending, undisputed, undeniable, history-making, record-breaking predictions champion on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
And I'm the longest reigning Love Wrestling Elite champion.
I'll throw that on there too.
So, since he's
To the point
one
where I'm the
trained-
only one who had the balls to actually defend it in a wrestling ring.
Wow, that's fucking awesome right there. Man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
Because
this.
of Pluggo and the way he spends her budget, I had to job to an accountant to help the business.
How about this?
Guy.
I'll even call this out. And if we can get them over there, because I know Ed Asterisk is on and stuff like that right now. Pluggo, if you're listening, come on here next Tuesday. Let's see what you reply to this.
See you next Tuesday.
Sounds like you're getting called out. Sounds like he's
I'll
getting
even
called
go
out.
further. I'll even call out a lot of people I know and I respect. Why not just have this as the biggest event in the community? Love Wrestling sends their representatives. I'll even ask Ed. I think Ed would be down. JPJ probably be down. Help bring Spencer too. And then I'll see what the crazy crew wants to do. And why not?
His
Let's
prediction
put on-
skills are almost as bad as Grayson Waller's technique.
You know what?
We don't need him.
You know who to get a hold of? Get a hold of the Jabronis. Get a hold of the Jabronis, the Jabroni podcast. They have predictions all the time. I was on their show. It's fucking awesome on that show. Yeah, let's do it, man. I mean, let's pick some numbers.
I'll even say get it one further because this is the same thing Pluggo used to do. Why don't we go even a little more crazier? I mean, this is, the Wicked Crazy title also. Why don't we have 2 belts on the line at WrestleMania besides the Wicked Crazy crowning? Why not the BodySlam.net championship versus the Love Wrestling championship?
Because the Love Wrestling Championship is owned by somebody who's not even involved in Love Wrestling.
I didn't know
You
that.
got to talk to the owner about that one.
Yeah.
Independent wrestling bookers are not exactly the greatest of the thinking capacities.
Wow. Are you telling me I'm a better booker on certain things than half the bookers in the world? Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
Well,
Nope, I'm just saying all the bookers in the world are morons. but please hire me.
I was gonna say I know the booker at BCW real well. Like that guy is like really close to me, so close that I can kind of feel him breathing on me.
When it comes down to it, I
Is
want to
it
be able to
you?
have this belt go to somebody who can. I just want when this comes down and I have to send this belt out, I want somebody to actually be prideful and defend it, not be like anything else. This is my gift to the community, and this is probably other than what's around me now, this is going to be my legacy and as podcasting and wrestling and everything. Because if tomorrow something happens to me, this title is a piece of me, and it shows how much of a good person that anybody can be with. And can
I like
do
the fact
good
that you're
things.
doing this. Like I will put this over all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
So you never know. Like
Twice on
Parish,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Exactly.
Saturday, because I'm a workhorse, damn it. I'm a winner,
I-
a soul survivor. Woo!
it could be you guys going against each other in a prediction show for where it goes cross between two podcasts, between Love Wrestling and the Round Table podcast. It could go every way. It's just this is instead of having a championship for between shows, why not just have a community one where the stakes are high, everything's a lot worth it. So this is my gift to the community, and that belt is going to go to somebody and they have to defend it. It's not like, oh, I get to keep it and oh, it's gone. No, if it's gone, you put your own money into it, you replace it and make it look exactly the way it is.
Exactly. I'm down with that. So let's do that. Let's get that together. And let's sign off right now and let's work our magic on Twitter and make it work.
All right. Paris, tell them how you can find you, my friend.
Well, if you want to find me, then that means I have to tell you my address, and I don't want to do that. But if you look me on the social media, then I guess I can let you know. You can follow me on the Twitter at Chris Parrish, on the Instagram at Chris.Parrish, because some asshole decided to take that on Instagram. So I challenged that little son of a bitch to give me back my handle. How dare you?
Kill it.
But if you want to follow me on Twitch, then you can come to me at the Chris Parrish or at Love Wrestling CA, where you can see all of our great shit.
BB, I know you're hosting this, but I want to close out.
I'm here with you. So you can find me at the Bad Blood Brand on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can find me chilling every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we break it down and we bring on celebrity guests like this is Throwback right here, and we talk major shit, and we have a great time. So you can find us there on the BodySlam.net network.
And I look at it this way: at this point of being on multiple shows with you guys, I am not a celebrity guest. I'm actually possibly part of the crew at this point.
Yeah.
Every Thursday night, guys, come by Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, youtube.com/throwback27. Also on the Twitch, 978 at the end. We have Anakin, James T, and a bunch of great guys over there. Happy that I've got a special guest for February. I can't wait to get out in there. I got to make sure this happens. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a bunch of friends shooting the shit. The best way, if anybody asks me, well, what's your podcast about? It's just a bunch of friends talking about something they love. And that's the best part every day. And then other than that, go check out, Fightful, go check out Love Wrestling. Hell, do your favorite friend a favor and hit that like, subscribe, and comment on everybody that's here. Especially Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. And we're very close to getting our Twitch goal. So if you guys want to hit that up too, that'd be appreciated. As I say it at the end of every day, Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. Have a good day, guys. Do a good deed. Pay it forward. there's always another day because you wake up and you keep doing what you're doing.